Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough of Thea the Awakening, a game that has just been released on the Nintendo Switch, and in today's episode we're just going to get into it. We're going to do the tutorial, go over some of the basics, and hopefully if you are struggling a little bit, this will help you. I'm by no means a professional though, but I do know the basics by now. Right, so we are going to jump into a new game. And we are, ooh, that was loud. We are met with two choices. So we have lots of people in this who we can choose for as our deity, but we've only currently unlocked two because I've not obviously been playing the game that long, and this is on a different profile, so I don't overwrite my save on my own save that is. So we can either go, I'm sure on my other one it's different, so maybe it's randomized which two are unlocked for you from the start, which is quite interesting. So we can either go for Zoya or we can go for Horos. Now, as you will see, and as we unlock more deities, or you unlock more deities as you're playing, and they've all got different kind of bonuses for each one. So, for example, the one we've unlocked for Zoya, and the only one we really need to think about is this first one here. So, God's Progress. We've not played as them yet. We've not really unlocked anything. So, we've only unlocked Stellar Education. Your people are driven to succeed and impress their goddess. They gain experience faster. Now that's just a little bit of a bonus, but as you can see, as you upgrade and you play the game more, you unlock more and more of these. If we went for Horos though, we can get night crawlers. During night turns, all your villagers get a +1 bonus to damage and a +2 range damage. Now, I quite like the sound of that, although I do like the idea of leveling up quicker. I do think that'd be nicer to have more damage at night, because that's when most of the enemies are dangerous, and Horos just looks pretty cool as it is. So I think we're going to jump into this. So Horos, the Lord of the Night and Master of the Moon, but even when you were struck down, the cursed darkness came and stole your mantle. Creatures of the night that were once yours now serve you no more. The sun and the moon have returned, and so now is the time to strike back, to take what was yours and to guide your human worshippers into a better future. That's what we're going to try and do, and we're going to start it right now. So this is one of the choices you get right at the beginning of the game, and you can either, this is select the main class for your villagers, so what will your people largely specialise in. So whichever one of these you choose, you tend to get more of these in your class. So if you chose warriors, you'd have more warriors. If you chose gatherers, you get the idea. So warriors excel in fights, physical and tactical challenges. They have more health and strength than other classes and can carry a two-handed sword in one hand. Ooh, very exciting. They also start with more equipment. Gatherers are skilled at harvesting resources. They start with more food and more advanced resources than other classes. And finally, craftsmen. Apart from being good at crafting, they are more educated. Fighting is not their thing, but they can deal better with other challenges. They start with more crafting materials and more children already present in the village. I don't know why more children, but that's interesting. Because I think from my previous experience, we only start with one child than the others, but obviously for some reason you get more children with craftsmen. So we're actually going to go for gatherers because that's what I'm more comfortable with, that's what I've played most of, and I actually find the gatherers really useful. So we'll jump into that. I'm totally tempted to just go normal. World size normal, world progress normal, challenge difficulty. Okay, we'll go experience then, which is pretty much normal. Enemy aggressiveness normal, starting villagers 10, very nice. Reshuffles are free, that's to do with battling. Saves are on. Why would we have it off? Yeah, we'll have it on. Realism easy. So you can only have one building of each type, and gathering is reduced. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy with those, and we'll just jump into the game now. So I'm not playing it on a really difficult level. I'm not that good at the game. I have played it a little bit, but yeah, hopefully I can bring you the basics, which is what I'm intending to do in this series. Loading. It's creepy. Horos looks so cool. I mean, he looks really evil, but he looks pretty cool. Lord of the Night and Master of the Moon. I like how he stood in front of the moon.
Thea is awakened. Welcome. No time to waste. You are a deity of the High Pantheon, and you must help your worshippers survive the darkness. So what now, you ask? You are divine, yes, but you have little power. and so you will know the world through your people's eyes. This means sometimes you will encounter your own divine messengers, and maybe even face your own avatars. Weird, I know. Your first mission is to survive. Every critter is trying to make sure you stay down, so get food and craft better equipment to protect yourselves. You will guide your people to victory, either by sheer survival and progress, or by solving the cosmic tree's mystery.
Yay, we're already talking of victory right at the start. We are going to go through the tutorial in this playthrough, because one, for me, and two, I'm guessing, if you're watching this, you probably want a bit of help.
I am but a messenger. Theodore, you can call me. But let us focus on you. Thea is a broken land. The underworld is shut, and the undead roam the earth. And creatures of darkness that ruled for a century want you dead.
That's reassuring, isn't it? Okay, so I need to improve our village and people, so how do I get started?
First, go and explore your village. Check the inventory to see your stocks, and set people to gather food and fuel, like wood. Without food, people will starve. And without fuel, they will not craft or even heal, so these are really important.
Okay, so we need to gather food and fuel at the village. Anything else?
Yes. Once you've visited your village, check out the people standing outside, the exploring party. Select your party and send them to me. I will wait for your people outside the village. I have marked your people's map with a big blue question mark, so they will see where I am. Oh, and if you ever forget what your current task is, just check out your logbook.
Okay, so check out my village and people first. Okay, we get that. We know what we're doing, and we've actually got 1 experience point from just starting the game. Nice bonus, right. So we are going to actually, we're going to get on with this as soon as possible. It's going to talk about the basics of map navigation, and I will go through that. I have to go through the tutorial. But just as an overall impression of how I feel and playing the game and how the controls feel, I'm playing it with the Nintendo Pro controller, but it does feel quite good. It all feels quite smooth, and after less than half an hour, you do get a good grasp of the controls, so there's nothing to worry about there. I think they're pretty straightforward. So let's learn the basics of map navigation. Yay. So use L to navigate the map, which is obviously your left joystick. You can use zoom in and out with ZL, ZR. Very standard, very unsurprising. Move until our people is near the center and selected with... Okay, so we need to select... You see this green cursor that goes around the floor? It's currently in our city, and then we can move it to our people. That is pretty much your selection cursor. So if we hold A... if we hold it, we can then choose to send our people wherever we want. Now, for the purposes of this, we're supposed to be sending them to Theodore's tutorial, but from a few tips I've picked up off another series I watched, and I will link that series in the description because it was very interesting and very useful. The best thing to do is definitely to send our people into the city, and then we can take stock and we can sort of go about equipping our expedition as we please. So the first thing we're going to do is send our people in here. Now I'll help you set up your village tasks. Well, thank you. So press A. So now we've got the cursor on the city, we can go over here and we've got a few options. So we can manage, we can look at the inventory, or we can look at the equipment. Now it's telling us to click on the magnifying glass, so to manage. And this takes you directly to the screen of gathering and crafting, which are all very interesting, but he wants us to start off with gathering. Now, gathering is really useful, and I've definitely not gone to the full potential of this yet, but it allows you to bring in fuels and foods more than anything, and valuable resources from within your area. And as we go through, you'll see how important gathering is. Right, so let's go and gather. Now, we have a few gatherers because we are a people of, well, a village predominantly of gatherers, as we just chose. So we currently have a few. I'm not going to go about their names yet because I am going to change them. I have a few ideas of what I want them to change to because I want to personalize this as much as possible. But just for this first initial part, we'll not change the names. So so if you pick a villager, you can put them to gather one of these things. We don't really need to be gathering 2 wood, in my opinion. We'll see how good we are. They're all 4 gathering. I'm not convinced that's amazing. I have started with a sort of 5 before, definitely, and I think a 6 maybe. But yeah, we'll deal with it. Nothing we can do. Now, the way this works is that the first villager you put in to gather wood will give its full potential. So we can see that this guy here, Snovid, his gathering skill is 4. So that would actually give us plus 40 points to the 60, as I'll show now. And that's the prime gatherer. And then we have the helpers. But we're talking about the prime gatherer right now. So Snovid, we will put you in there. And as you can see, as I said, it's bringing you the plus 40 towards the 60. And when we get to 60, we get 7 wood, I think it is. Yeah, it says plus 7. So we need an extra 20. Now, this is where our other is coming in handy. So we need to gather food, but we don't need to worry about that yet. We're just showing a demonstration. So Roslava, you aren't currently doing anything, and so neither is Jadviga. But with Roslava, we are going to first make sure we're gathering enough wood. So if I put you in here to help Snovid as one of the helpers, you are going to give half of your gathering skill onto that towards that 60. So Snovid as the primary helper gets plus 40, but Roslava, as she's only a secondary helper sort of thing, she's only a helper, she only gets half of it, so she only gets 20. So as you'll see, we've got 14 from Snovid, and when we put Roslava in here, that will go to plus 60. There we go. So we're getting the full amount we need, full sort of production we need towards getting that wood, that 7 wood this turn. Now the only problem is that leaves us only with Jadviga, who we need to gather food with. There's no point gathering 2 lots of wood. We need food. We need to be able to eat. So you're going to go in there. Now, you won't be able to gather that in one turn. In fact, what's more, I think food might be more important, really. But we'll have a look, see what we've got. You won't be able to gather all that in one turn, but that'll just roll over to the next turn. So we'll get. So we've got 40 there. Because her gathering skill is 4, so plus 40, and then next turn it will go to plus 80, which is obviously 80 is more than 60, so we carry the 20 over. Hopefully that will make sense as we go through a little bit more, but yeah, so that's how that works. Now I'm thinking I'd rather have the food than the I'd rather have the vegetables than the food, so I might actually go and put Roslava on vegetables to help us get that, and if we need to switch it over we can, but we're currently using all our gatherers there, and I think that's the only gatherers we sort of have in the... Have we made them join the city? Oh, hang on, we haven't made them join yet. You can find details covering all aspects of the gameplay in the tutorial, which I will keep going back to. Okay, so they're just our base... This first turn, it makes me literally end the turn now. I have no choice, but we'll come back to it in a second. We need to get our other people to join the city, and then we can do more gathering, because we'll have more gatherers and we can, you know, sort things out. But we will sort that out in a second. So we need to end the turn, and you do that by pressing Y. By the way, it's always good to remember that pressing the plus button brings up the help and tutorial stuff. Oh, cool. So your villagers need to eat. Each person uses 1 food item, marked with the sort of spoon and fork per turn. You'd think it'd be a knife, but apparently not. Okay, so food is needed to heal wounds. That's something we'll come on to, but yeah, if you are injured in battle, you need food to heal wounds. If villagers run out of food, they will starve and eventually die. So it is very important to remember, with whatever you're doing, be careful, because people can die, which would be emotional, and I'd cry like a baby. Okay, so having a good variety of food provides many bonuses as well, but we're not going to be worrying about variety straight away. Fuel is needed in the camp village, and in camps, -1 fuel item per turn. So basically, if you have 1 piece of wood, I'm pretty sure it works that is all you need for the city, for the settlement, sorry, for 1 turn. Because not everybody needs their own fire, so you only need 1 piece of wood to light the whole fire for the settlement. But obviously if you go on an expedition, they're going to have a separate fire because it's not that big a fire. So if you go off venturing elsewhere, you'll need to think about that as well. Food works a little bit differently in that I'm pretty sure it's 1 food per character per turn. So you're going to need more food than wood, if you see what I mean. Without fuel, there will be no additional healing. Oh no. And any task will take twice as long to complete. Alright, so these are the things we need to go through. I thought we had a research point. I was convinced we started with a research point, but apparently not. Right. So, the first thing we're going to do is we need to get them to join the city. Okay, yeah, we can switch to the expedition using L and R. So we need to get them to join the city. Now, We'll go over the rest of the expedition options when we've got our expedition going, but right now, let's get these to join the city. This is very much an introductory part, and it's going to just go into the basics. Right, so we have now got our 10 population, that's our starting population, and now it's time to rename them and rearm them and sort them out into nice groups. I don't even know. Right. At least we did some gathering on our first turn, that was good. We're probably going to change that round though. Okay, so it says use A to equip a piece of equipment onto the highlighted slot. Know that your villagers can only carry a limited weight, as you can see. So Zora here has currently got a maximum weight of 300, and she's carrying 187. As you can see, just below her, that is that there. Looks like we have some decent weapons here and things, which we'll have to think about equipping and things like that. Know that your villagers can only carry... Okay, we've been through that. Right. So, one of the first thing I was... so I need to really... I'll drop the name in the description of the playthrough I watched on the PC version, which really helped me get to grips with this. But the first thing he did was pretty much take everything off of his characters and then sort of rearm them. Now, I sort of want to do that, but I think it might be a better idea to do it off camera and then explain what I've done. And then I can have more time to think. But more importantly, probably... let's rename our characters to really get that personal kind of touch with them. So we have... And by the way, there's a competition I'm running. There's no prize, but if you can guess what theme I've used to rename these, then I'll give you a shout out. Right. So view details. I can't remember how you do this. I have done this. Okay, so I've done a lot of the renaming off camera because I didn't think it was necessary. Okay, I've spelled the name of the city wrong, which the blooming settlement wrong, haven't I? That's a good start, Alex. Yeah, I wanted to put Columbia. Now, I wanted to put Columbia because it means something to me. So the name of Bioshock Infinite city is Columbia. And that is one of my favourite games of all time. So I wanted to put it as that. Columbia. I think that's how you spell it. I don't care if not, it's unique. But more importantly, I've renamed every single one of the characters, and I do challenge you to figure out what kind of the theme is here. So we have Victoria, we have Elizabeth, we have Henry, we have Anne, Edward, Jane, Mary, William, Charlie, and Georgie. Now, although I've tried to keep kind of to what gender I think they are, it doesn't really matter. And some of these names, thematically, may not have originally have been of that gender. So I might have changed some of them around a bit. But if you do know that, just, yeah, let me know what that is. So, right, let's get back to the most important thing. Which is managing our village. Now, we've already had a look at gathering a little bit. But we've got a few more things to do. So, we're currently, and this is on supplies, we have got all of these available for burning. Now, something I picked up off the playthroughs I've watched and from my own experience is do not burn things you do not have access to. So the only thing I think we currently have access to out of all of these is that there, which I think is just normal wood, and it is. And as we can see from our gathering tab, production even, we'll go over to production when we get there. We can actually gather normal wood, but we can't gather anything else other than that. So, why would we burn things we don't have access to? And because they could be useful in different ways. So unless we've got a lot of them or a sustainable supply, I don't think it's a good idea to be burning them. And wood is burning just fine anyway. On the food front, this is what we can consume. So as you can see, I've turned all them off. We cannot burn them. They will not be burnt. But on the food front, I'm currently letting them pretty much use anything, but I will sort that out in a minute and we'll use some cooking skills once we've got our expedition sorted out. Now, I'm talking about our expedition and talking about our characters. I was going to take all their weapons off them and kind of, you know, give everything and make it the most, what's the word? The most... reaching its full potential, shall we say. I was going to give everybody kind of the best weapons for them and the best weapons for the group and maximise the potential of the whole thing, but I'm not going to take everybody's weapons off and do that again. I think we'll do that as the playthrough goes on. I'm pretty happy with how everything's set up, so I'm not too worried. Now, the other things we don't currently have being used by people are these two shields. I think they're shields. So, we need to deploy them. So the people I think we're going to give these to are, I think, anybody that's currently got a bit of a hand free. So as you can see, when you look at the character, in the left hand they have, well, for example, in the left hand Edward has a sword, but in the right hand he has nothing. So we could very easily give him a shield, which would, he doesn't have to take anything away, he's just got a free hand. So that, if we gave him a shield, for example, we gave him either one. So if we gave him this one, he'd get +3 armor, +3 shielding, and +1 dexterity. Now if we went to somebody who maybe had a double handed sword, such as Elizabeth here, if we give her the shield, it takes away, so she can't have everything. So she gains 4 armor and 5 shielding, but she actually loses 16 damage and 3 poison. Now, you don't want that. And as a warrior, Elizabeth, I'm pretty happy for her to have a double-handed sword. So, well, it's not a double-handed sword. It's just such a big sword. I think she needs both hands for it. Right. So we are going to be looking for people that don't currently have both hands in use that can easily carry around a shield. And I think, oh, there's 3. So we've got Edward, we've got Jane, and we have William does. Okay, Charlie doesn't. Now, Charlie is not a gatherer. So, because she's not a gatherer, she's unlikely to actually leave the village unless we have a particular challenge that's going to require her skills. And right now, we don't. So, to me, it makes sense because we could send either Jane or Edward to probably give them the shield. So, we give you that. And what does that give you? That gives you +3 armor, +3 shielding, and +1 dexterity. Jane, you can have that, which gives you +4 armor and +5 shielding. So it's just a bit of good for defense. Not necessarily be needed. Depends if you go on expedition. Although your village can be attacked, so that they can come to you sometimes, especially at night. So all our equipment is currently being used. We don't have anything spare, and we'll carry on. We'll have a deeper look at that as we go through. But right now, it's nothing to worry about. Right, so are we happy? So we've sorted supplies out, and as you can see, hang on, yeah, so we've sorted supplies out. Our inventory, we are fine, I think. We have lots of things in here, but we don't need to use them yet. We will sort that out as we go through. And I'll have a deeper look between this and the next part as well. So production. So we're currently only working on gathering. You know what, it might be a better idea to actually set the exhibition up first. I think if we set the exhibition up, then we'll know who's left in the town, won't we? So, I'm going to send 4 people on exhibition. I'm going to send Victoria because she's a hunter, and she's going to be very good for some of the challenges upcoming, so we'll definitely send her. I'm going to send, I think I'm 24 damage. Sounds like a good amount of damage to me. So I think Elizabeth would be quite useful out there. And she has 22 armor as well, so she is on fire. So we'll send Elizabeth. We need to send a gatherer as well. Do you want to leave maybe Henry behind? We only have 2 warriors, I think. I know Victoria's a hunter. Right. I think we'll send Henry. I think it could still be incredibly useful to have out there. And as you can see, under the character attributes, they have a number of skills. Now, in the next episode, we're going to probably look at battles where we'll go through where these are most useful. But basically, I'm looking mostly at the damage and armor for a warrior right now. So I think we'll send both of them, and then we will send our best gatherer. Now, Anne's got 4. Edward's got a mere 3, which is disappointing. You've got 3, and Mary has 4. She has a lot of damage though. She's well armed. 4. So we don't have anyone that's particularly good at gathering, which is good. Just thinking what's me, but we need to send one with 4 basically. I might send Anne just because I think she'd be up for it. You know, I think she's quite a feisty character, and she has 11 damage, which I think I don't know. I like it. She's got poison. She's got goodwill. Which is important. She's got a little bit of speech, a little bit of strength. I think we'll send Anne. Anne, get yourself out, and we will leave in the settlement then. Edward, Jane, Mary, William, Charlie, and Georgie. Do we really need to leave 6? I might send another gatherer, you know. I don't think we'll need either Charlie or Georgie at this stage. Should we send another gatherer? Yeah, we will. We'll send Jane. Because the other two are busy, basically. Oh, no. Mary's got good damage. Okay, we'll send Mary, and then we've left 2 gatherers. Okay, yeah, I'm happy. Oh, we've left 3 gatherers, so I'm happy with that. We need to make sure we give them some food. I almost forgot, because if they don't have food and wood to burn, they will starve to death, which is a bad thing, obviously. So there are 5 of them, and we want to give them quite a bit of food. We don't need to give them a crazy amount. And 5 of them, maybe about 5-6 turns. At max 5. I can't see it being more than 2 or 3, to be honest. Okay, we'll give you 25 meat, because why not? And then we'll keep the vegetables here for now. So we've gave them a bit of food. That have enough food for 5 turns. Now, you can see how long the food will last, because under supplies, towards the right-hand side of this screen, just under all our armor that we're taking on exhibition, it says supplies. And next to the food, we have 5. A 5 next to the egg timer. I think that's an egg timer, saying we've got 5 turns worth of food. Now we just need to send them a bit of wood, so we will take 5 there. So we have a bit of wood, a bit of food, and we can progress with the exhibition. So that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And they're the very basic essentials you'll need. As you can see on the other side of the screen, with the supplies, we have sort of 5. We have 23 turns of food left and 14 turns of burning materials. We do have more burning materials, we've just not made them available, but we're gathering, so there's no need to worry about that right now. Okay, so we will now close that off. I think we've done everything we possibly can. We could actually look at crafting, really, couldn't we? Yeah, okay, so we're being told to have a look at crafting now by the tutorial anyway, so he's telling us to craft some clothes. Okay, so if we go over to clothes, and this is how the basic crafting system works. We will get onto this as we keep going through it, but this is a very basic example. So we have 10 wool here. Now we're going to need all of this wool to create a little jacket or whatever it is. So as you can see, we put 4 in the top one, we put 4 in the middle one, and then we put 2 in the bottom one. Now that has allowed us to create a plain shirt, that's what it is. It's very minimal, but it's just a basic thing for crafting, and we'll put that in our inventory, and I'm sure we'll apply it at some point. So that gives us 2 armor, which is it's better than nothing, but it's nothing special. But to actually get this created, we need to do more than just put it through the crafting process. We need to get one of our villagers or people to work on it. So this is where Charlie and Georgie come in, as you can see with their class. They are going to be the people to do this. Now they've both got 6, so it doesn't matter. And if you remember back to when we were talking about sort of gathering food, it's a very similar principle with the numbers here. So we have you need 48 to do this. Charlie has got a 6 production, so she's going to give 60, so it's absolutely fine. She's going to be absolutely fine doing this, and that's going to get done in 1 turn. Now the other thing we're going to look at right now is we're not going to look at craft tools and gathering tools. It's a very similar principle. We will get onto them, but we're going to have a look at cooked meals because we have both meat and vegetables. So we can create a very quick and simple meal that will actually spread further, and I like doing this early on. So we've got 4 meat here, so we put, I think we go first for we go vegetables first, then we put the 2 meat in, and then we just need something to burn, such as this wood. So that has allowed us to create bigos or bigos or whatever, and it's a form of vegetable stew traditionally made with sauerkraut, but any veg just does the job if needed. So I don't think it tastes very nice. It probably tastes like crap, but it's good. It's good. It's better, and it stretches our resources further, I believe. So that's actually 8 servings, I think, and we've only put 2 vegetables, 2 meat in. So that's actually pretty decent. Now, just the same principle as construction, we need to get one of these people to cook that. So, Georgie can do that. She's not doing anything. This is what she specialises on, building and cooking. So, she can step in here and create these meals. Now, she's going to be more than fine. She's going to add plus 60 when we only need 40. So, I think we can actually change that. So, we can change this so we do it multiple times, and I've done that by pressing Y, which is task options, And you can change how many times she does it, so she's only making one of these portions or whatever, one of big os. We can put that up to 2, and then we'll have 16 meals. So we've put it up to like 3, and we're still gathering vegetables and wood, so we'll be fine. And meat, we'll find meat. We'll get plenty of meat, I'm sure. Okay, so we've sorted that. Now I thought we always had a tech point at this stage, but it doesn't look like we have a tech point to use. So there's no point. Oh, advancement, points available 1, right? So this is the tech sort of tree, and this just kind of allows you to access more resources. I've not had a crazy deal of experience with this, but it allows you to access more resources. I went with this last time. So research, so this is what the tutorial's saying. Research screen allows you to spend advancement points to unlock new resources, crafting and construction recipes. An advancement point is given when enough research points are collected, which we'll go through in a second. Research points are gained by crafting and constructing, visiting ruins, and also in some events. Excuse me. Now, the only real research points I've got is from venturing out and things, but I've not really explored the rest of the game too much yet. So I wonder what we could go for. We've got wood, so I wonder. Last time I went for cane, so woody stalks gathered from tall grasses, more durable than straw but less flexible. And I'm pretty sure this helps kind of a number of things. So we're going to go with that. We'll find out as we go along. But we have got 1 research point. This only takes 1 research point, so we can do that, I think. Research, yes, so cane. Woody stalks gathered from tall. We've been through that. So researching cane will add 5 units of this research to your settlement's inventory. At least one place where it can be gathered will always be revealed after researching this. Are we sure? Yes, we'll do that. I don't know how good it is. I'm still finding my feet with this. So if you have played this before, let me know how well I'm doing. I imagine I'm doing very poorly, but someone will tell me. Now, it does sort of give us where the nearest cane is. Is it closer to home than I thought? Nope. I mean, we could have gone for something we could get there, but I thought, no. I want cane. Oh, okay, so the nearest source of cane is quite a while away. But I just wanted to demonstrate that when you research it, it does show you where the nearest source is. So, yeah, that's a little bit away. I'm sure we'll get close to that as soon as possible. Now, I don't want to do anything else really in this part. The only other thing I want to talk about is the research and experience points. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see we currently have 0 of 15 research points. Or 0 of 15 score towards a research point. Basically, we get these through doing lots of things like challenges. But when that gets up to 15, we get a research point which we can use on researching something. And it's a very similar thing for XP, which is the one below the book. So when that gets to 10, everybody that is in our village or under our control, essentially, all level up. They gain different bonuses. Their stats develop differently, and it's all very interesting. But we'll cover that more when we get there. So that's going to be it for the first part. I hope I've gave you a very brief overview, taught you the very basics of this game. If you've got any questions, please do leave them below in the comments, whether that be sort of gameplay wise or what I think of the game, things like that. Let me know. Please do also hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more if you have enjoyed, and be sure to share this with a friend and spread the message. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another episode probably later today.